Season 3 for NBA 2K22 has been out for about a week now, and I think we're slowly starting to see the meta change. Now, there's still plenty of playmaking shot creator builds out there, but I think people are beginning to realize that there are other viable options at the point guard position. In fact, one of those builds was actually pretty popular back in 2K20. This video will show you how to make the best two-way slashing playmaker in NBA 2K22. Before we get into the actual build, at the main menu, head over to Features, select Settings, scroll down to Units of Measurement, and make sure this is set to the metric system. I'll explain why this is really important later on. Now, once you're at the build screen, you want to make sure you put your player at the point guard position. Like always, your name, handedness, and jersey number are entirely up to you. When it comes to your skill breakdown, choose the fourth pie chart. Because this one is half finishing and half playmaking, you'll be able to get Hall of Fame badges in both categories. Most people would probably select the first pie chart for your physical profile since it has the most speed. I personally think the agility and vertical pie chart is a little better. Although your speed decreases by a few points, you get much more vertical. Plus, I'll show you how you can tweak your build so you can still get up to a 99 speed. For the finishing category, we're going to max out our close shot to an 88, our driving layup to a 95, and our driving dunk to an 82. This will give us a total of 19 finishing badges, and since our ratings are pretty high in a few of those categories, we definitely want to make sure we have a decent amount of badges for finishing. Now for shooting, we're going to max out our mid-range to a 75, our 3-point to a 67, our free throw to an 82, and finally, increase our post fade to a 54. This will give us a total of 10 shooting badges, which obviously isn't the most you can get, but just like in 2K20, this build doesn't need much to be a decent shooter from the three-point line. Even with the 67 three-point rating, you'll be able to hit threes at a pretty decent rate, especially if you have the right shooting badges. Moving on to playmaking, we're going to max out our pass accuracy to an 86 and our ball handle to a 91. This will give us 22 playmaking badges, which is perfect for a primary ball handler. Finally, for our defensive attributes, we're going to max out our perimeter defense to a 76, our lateral quickness to a 74, our steal to an 80, increase our block to a 39, and finally, max out our defensive rebound to a 65. This will give us 7 defensive badges, which again, isn't too crazy, but you should be just fine with the right badges equipped. This will give you a final badge spread of 19 finishing, 10 shooting, 22 playmaking, and 7 defensive badges. Now, there are many different ways you can make a two-way slashing playmaker. Most of them can get anywhere from around 54 to 56 badges. I made the build this way because this is the highest number of badges you can get on this build at the point guard position with 58 badges in total. Body shape is personal preference, but like always, I'm going with built on my player. For the height, we're going to choose 1.95 meters. Now, we selected the metric system earlier because we're able to get certain perks we couldn't get while using the Imperial system. To access all the dribble animations in the game, on top of having the required ball handle rating, you also need to be 6'4" or shorter. 1.95 meters converts to 6 feet and 4.77 inches. So even though you're actually closer to 6'5", the game recognizes you as being 6'4" and gives you access to all those dribble animations. You'll also be able to get small contact dunks at this height. So make sure you go with 1.95 meters as your height. We're going to go with 79 kilograms for the weight, which happens to be the minimum. This will give us a 91 speed and an 89 acceleration. Now, if you reach 99 overall with this build and you have the Gym Rat badge, you'll get a +8 boost to all of your physical ratings. So that means that your speed will be at a 99, your acceleration will be at a 97, and your vertical will be at a 96. This is why I recommended the agility and vertical pie chart, because your vertical wouldn't be nearly that high if you went with the other option. Next, we're going to max out our wingspan to 217 centimeters. This will boost our finishing and defense, but specifically, our driving dunk is what we really care about. By going with max wingspan, we'll have an 86 driving dunk, so we'll be able to get those contact dunks off rip. For your takeover, you can select either slasher or playmaker. I'm going to go with slasher as my takeover, and unless you really know how to dribble, I would recommend you guys do the same. Once that's done, you have now made the best two-way slashing playmaker build in NBA 2K22. As always, I want to show you guys the badges you should use with this build. For the finishing category, the first thing we're going to do is upgrade Giant Slayer to Hall of Fame. This build will be finishing quite a lot around the rim, and having Giant Slayer on Hall of Fame will help us tremendously. I'd also recommend Hall of Fame Limitless Takeoff. This will let us trigger those dunk animations from much further out, and with the help of Hall of Fame Posterizer, we'll get a lot more contact dunks on this build. Now, Limitless Takeoff also triggers for layup animations. So if we do end up getting a layup animation, Hall of Fame Slithery Finisher will help us there. So in most cases, those 4 badges will work together to give you the best chance at finishing around the rim, which is why we have each of them at the Hall of Fame level. Now, you can spend the remaining 3 badge points however you like. I'm going to upgrade Fast Twitch, Fearless Finisher, and Lob City Finisher all on bronze. As far as our shooting badges, the first badge we're equipping is a Gold Sniper. I've said this in previous videos, but again, this is clearly the best shooting badge in the game, and we want this on the highest level possible. Since we are a primary ball handler, Stop and Pop would also be an excellent badge to have. It's pretty easy to trigger, and you'll actually see decent results by having the badge on gold. Now, you'll definitely find yourself in situations where a defender is closing out on your shot from the side, especially with the Intimidator buff in the latest patch, so I'd recommend having blinders on gold. Even though your 3-point rating is somewhere in the 60s, you'll still be a decent threat from the perimeter with these 3 badges equipped. For your last upgrade, I suggest spending this on either Catch and Shoot, Corner Specialist, Deadeye, Hot Zone Hunter, or even Lucky Number 7. It really depends on you and your playstyle. If you're going to be spotting up in the corner every now and then, either Catch and Shoot or Corner Specialist will be a great option for you. If you take jump shots early in the shot clock, then maybe Lucky Number 7 might be better for you. You really can't go wrong with any of those badges I mentioned. For the sake of this video, I'm going to upgrade Corner Specialist to bronze. For playmaking, the badges we're going to upgrade immediately are Handles for Days, Quick Chain, Quick First Step, and Tight Handles. It's important that you have those badges equipped if you plan on handling the ball, and having them on Hall of Fame makes them that much better. Next, we'll upgrade both Bullet Passer and Unpluckable to silver. You can spend the last 2 badge upgrades however you want. I'm going to upgrade both Bailout and Hyperdrive to bronze. Finally, for our defensive badges, we're going to upgrade Chase Down Artist to bronze, and then we're going to upgrade both Clamps and Intimidator to gold. This is how I would spend those 7 defensive badge points after Season 3, but feel free to cater to your own playstyle. In my opinion though, this is one of the best badge setups you can run with this build. That's how you make the best 2-way slash and playmaker build in NBA 2K22 after Season 3. If you guys want to see more build videos like this one, let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you haven't subscribed already, feel free to do that as well. Until next time, I'm out.